conceived by Pope.L as an art installation, a performance, and an intervention. Flint Water Project at Detroit's artist-run gallery. What Pipeline expands on the Chicago-based artist's social practice, using art to raise awareness of the crisis in Flint, Michigan, which resulted in lead poisoning, Legionnaire's disease, and deaths from Flint's contaminated water supply, and to raise money for the citizens of Flint. The crisis began in April of 2014 when Flint, under a state-appointed emergency manager, changed its water supply from Lake Huron to the Flint River to save money. In what began with a ceremonial closing of the valve after 50 years of water routed from Detroit's treatment plant, and assurances from a representative of the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality that individuals shouldn't notice any difference, residents began complaining almost immediately about the smell and color of the water. By August 2014, E. coli and total coliform bacteria were detected in the water, and by the start of 2015 elevated lead levels were found. In January 2016, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder and President Obama declared a state of emergency in Genesee County. Every child under the age of 6 in Flint has been exposed to lead poisoning. Thousands of residents have sustained long-term, irreversible damage to their health from the water, and the Legionnaire's outbreak led to 12 deaths. Although city officials are now declaring the water safe, Flint residents received the same word 3 years ago, incorrectly, and many are still wary. Flint Water Project, supported by the Knight Foundation as part of the Knight Arts Challenge and a Kickstarter campaign, came about when What Pipeline invited Pope.L to create a project in Detroit. The Kickstarter page states, when Pope.L was asked by What Pipeline to do a commission for Detroit, he felt that whatever he did it should not re-victimize the city as had been done too often in the past. What if Detroit could be the hero and come to the rescue of another Midwest city in need? The project merges conceptual art with social practice, raising money for United Way of Genesee County and the nonprofit organization Hydrate Detroit by selling bottles of contaminated Flint water as an addition of 1,200, signed and unsigned. The one-room gallery is transformed into a water bottling facility and storefront. Bottles of water sourced from the home of Flint resident Iantha Williams and bearing Flint water, 16 fl. ounces non-potable. Labels are displayed on single shelves, with more bottles in stacked cardboard boxes. The walls, papered with images of the bottles, are lined with unframed photographs by Flint photographer Eric Dutrow, including corroded pipes, a toddler with a Fiji brand water bottle, an advertisement for water-related lawsuits, and a graffiti note accompanying the slogan Flint Lives Matter, along with water-themed artwork selected by Pope.L from What Pipeline's collection. There is also a copy of a letter from Flint Mayor Karen Weaver informing residents of the status of the city's tap water, noting, at the time of sending, that unfiltered tap water remained unsafe to drink. Gallery associates filled bottles from a large tank filled with water from Williams' house over the course of the exhibition. While Pope.L's practice belongs to a lineage of politically and socially engaged art that evokes the likes of Mir Laderman Muckels and Suzanne Lacey, his interventions have a level of ambiguity that raises questions along with awareness. His 2004 to 2006 project, The Black Factory, for instance, invited discussions of race, class, gender and democracy, while proceeds from its gift shop, stocked with donations from visitors that represented blackness to them, went to local organizations. Similarly, in poll from 2013, teams of Cleveland residents pulled a truck through the city to inspire a citywide conversation about labor. As Sarah Rose Sharp noted in an article for Hyperallergic, Flint Water Project raises questions about art and commerce by repurposing potentially toxic water as art. It also politicizes the readymade, positing the bottles as symbols of gross negligence and misconduct on the part of city and state officials, and the dire consequences. While the gesture itself is admirable, and the funds raised are urgently needed, the bottles beg the question, can symbols of adversity double as symbols of agency? Symbols of privation can create the illusion of a powerless citizenry, something that Flint residents have been combating out of anger and necessity. When the state offered little to no resolution, locals distributed shipments of donated water, some from private corporations, organized protests, and lobbied Snyder's administration in the EPA. While the role of Detroit as a hero to Flint strengthens the alliance between two beleaguered Michigan cities and empowers Detroit, it serves as a reminder that Detroit's growth over the past decade does not extend to Flint, and that both cities have too often been cast in the role of victim.